So we finished the seventh canto last class, and what was said was completed in the last canto was about the last few chapters that in the last class we discussed was about the Varnashram Dharma, and now the discussion goes to the Manvantara. So we're going to learn what is a Manvantara and who are the rulers during each Manvantara. So we know different units of time. We have a second, a minute, an hour. So all this is division of time so that it fits into our lifetime. So usually, at most, a person lives 80 to 100 years old. So these division of time works for us. But then for the demigods and the higher beings, the time is divided into many years, like yugas and manvantaras. And the ruler during a manvantara is called a Manu. And so we're going to learn who are the Manu in each manvantara. We learned about Swayambhuva Manu earlier, and his Swayambhuva Manu and Shatrupa, they were created by Brahma, and they had their descendants. We discussed about Uttanapad, Priyavrata Maharaj, the two sons, and the three daughters, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. So all their descendants were also described. So the description about the other Manus, because there's 14 Manvantras in a day of Brahma. Okay, so we only describe so far, or Sukadeva Goswami only describes so far descriptions of one Manu, which is the first Manu, is Swayambhuva Manu. And then there is second, third, fourth. We are actually currently in the seventh Manvantara. And I have a diagram to describe that. Um, so this first chapter in the eighth canto is describing about the who are these Manus and what do they do? What do they do to administer in the universe? And the description starts first with Swayambhuva Manu, who already has been described, but much description wasn't given about one of the incarnations of the Lord in the first Manvantara. His name was Yagya. So he's called the Manvantara avatar, and what he did. Swayambhuva Manu had, after creating his descendants, he decided to go into the forest, and then he was doing nice meditations and performing devotional service to go back home, back to Godhead. And while he was doing meditation, there were many demons and rakshasas who were, while he was in a trance, they wanted to, devour and eat the body of Swayambhuva Manu. But then Swayambhuva Manu's grandson, who's Yagya, the son of Akuti, came there with his sons and made sure that the Rakshasas don't hurt Swayambhuva Manu. So you can see here, Swayambhuva Manu was doing austerities for 100 years in the banks of the Sunanda River. So he was making nice prayers to the Lord. So, and those prayers are described here in these multiple verses from 9 to 16, said that, "O Supreme Lord, you are the Supreme Creator." But the Lord himself doesn't have a creator because he is eternal and ever present. Um, so the Lord is always awake and he's witnessing everything in silence. He's not he's a knower of everything and anything, even a piece of leaf. If it moves, the Lord knows about it. And it's not possible for anyone to know the Lord completely. But for his devotees, the Lord reveals his the knowledge about him so that we can love him more and more. And then he describes about how the Lord is present everywhere. And the best is to only accept what God gives us, and not be envious of what others have, and not to illegally take somebody else's property. That is this verse 10. So he's seen, but he sees, but he is not seen. We all worship him, the super soul. He's the friend of everyone. He has no so we can't give, there is, Lord is absolute. There is no relativity. It's hot or cold, famous or infamous, rich or poor. There's no such duality. He is absolute. Um, so only in the material world there is ups and downs and all that. But for the Lord, whatever he does is absolute. It is not better or worse or any of that. So he describes all these wonderful qualities, because Swayambhuva Manu is a great devotee of the Lord. Um, Lord is everything, but he's aloof. Uh, and the Lord brings everybody from karma to akarma. Karma means we just fruitive work. We do something to get a result and enjoy the result. But akarma means we do something to satisfy the Lord, to please the Lord, to serve the devotees. So that is akarma. So he brings the souls who um, to the platform of akarma. So, So the Lord acts as the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the worlds. Um, but he does not get entangled in the bondage. Like all of us gets entangled. We are like puppets at the hands of the three modes of material nature, but the Lord is not affected. Just like when the prime minister of the country goes to the prison house, he doesn't have to follow the rules of the prison, but everybody in the prison have to wear prison clothes, have to follow what the warden tells them. But the prime minister can just come in and leave whenever he wants, and he wears his own clothes. Just like that, when the Lord comes, he has the spiritual body, but all of us have material bodies. So the conclusion is everybody should follow the Supreme Lord. So while Swayambhuva Manu was making these wonderful prayers, these Rakshasas came to attack him, and Yagya, um, who is the grandson of Swayambhuva Manu, from his daughter Akuti. Akuti's son is Lord Yagya. He came and took care of all those Rakshasas. Yeah. And then we are going to discuss about each Manvantara. The Yagya actually took the post of Indra during that first Manvantara. So we can see here during each reign of different Manus, this Indra is a post. All demigods, they are not the Supreme Lord. They're just having a post for a certain amount of time. So we can see here how Yagya became Indra during the first Manvantara. And then we are going to see that during the other Manvantras, there are other personalities who take that post. Uh, but the Lord is always the same. There's no, it is not a role or a post like a prime minister. Earlier, Manmohan Singh was the prime minister of India. Now, Narendra Modi is the prime minister of India. So when we say Indra, it's like the post of prime minister. So that's a good understanding from this. And then um, the Parikshit Maharaj is given this good explanation by Sukadev Goswami about the first Manu is Swayambhuva Manu. Then he describes about the four Manus, and then he talks about how Lord Hari came to save Gajendra. And when Parikshit Maharaj heard about Gajendra, he said, Who is Gajendra? I want to learn more about him. So that's how we go into the topic, main topic of today, about the elephant ruler or Gajendra. This happened in a heavenly planet, this wonderful pastime. So we'll discuss that based on the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadev Goswami. Just before that, just understand here, this is how you can picture this in your mind about this time. So one kalpa is the Brahma's one day, is one kalpa. And there are 14 manvantaras during that that one day. One day of Brahma is 4,320,000,000 years. So you can imagine how long the lifetime of Brahma is, because this is just one day, and he lives for 100 years, his years. So that's this times 365 times um, times 100 gives you the total age of Brahma. But you can see that Brahma also has has an ending. He has also an expiry date. So at the end of Brahma's lifetime, there is a total annihilation of the universe. But at the end of his one day that you see here, the 14 manvantras, there is partial this annihilation. So the Lord destroys all planets except Brahmaloka, below Brahmaloka. And then when Brahma wakes up in the morning, he goes and creates all the planets below him. He creates the material bodies for all the different living beings. So only Satyaloka or Brahmaloka exists at the after the end of the 14 Manvantaras, and then it starts again. Now let's look at each Manvantara. So within each Manvantara, there are 71 Chaturyugas. So what are these Chaturyugas? So that is Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So there are 4 yugas. These together makes one Chaturyuga. And 71 of those makes one Manvantara. So the little sector you see here, that's made of 71 Chaturyugas. So if you add 71 times 14, it's like 1,000, almost 1,000. So that's how we say there are 1,000 Chaturyugas in one day of Brahma. 1,000 Chaturyugas or 14 Manvantaras. So again, it's nice to know this the time, how the time is divided for these heavenly personalities. Because if they count by hours and seconds and our years, they have to talk in terms of billions. Um, so that's why it's divided into these higher units of time for the celestial beings. So currently we are in the 7th Manvantara of the 28th Chaturyuga. So out of there are 71, right? So we are actually in the middle of the 7th Manvantara right now. And Krishna comes during the day of Brahma only once in the whole day of Brahma, during the 7th, in the middle Manvantara. So we are so fortunate to have Krishna come and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come after Krishna, and so that we can know about the Lord and all that, and we can go back home, back to Godhead. So we are very fortunate to have been born at this time in the cyclic period of the kalpas. One kalpa means a day of Brahma is called a kalpa. Okay, and this is Brahma's night. What do you see black here? So again, you have to hear this many times, and you got to look at this diagram, and then only you'll get these units of time. But it's nice to know because they are referenced throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is the family tree of who are the different personalities. Um, so Swayambhuva, Manu, Uttanapad, Priyavrata, and actually Priyavrata's 3 sons becomes future Manus, and that's also captured here in this diagram. It shows the description of the six Manvantras. We are currently in the 7th Manvantras, so the description of the previous Manvantara described in this Canto 8, first chapter, 17 to 30 verses describe about these the personalities in each of the 6 Manvantras. And who was the Manu? Swayambhu Manu in the first, Swarochisha Manu is in the second, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata were 3, 4, and 5. They are the son of Priyavrata. Then Chakshusha Manvantara, that's the 6th Manvantara. And now we are going to talk about the 4th Manvantara, that's when the Lord came as Hari to save Gajendra from a crocodile. So let's discuss that story quick. So there was a nice kingdom um, below this mountain called Trikuta. So Trikuta mountain, because it had three peaks, and the three peaks, one was made of iron, one was made of silver, and one was made of gold. So this beautiful mountain around which there was such nice, beautiful lakes and gardens. Um, the height of this mountain was 10,000 yojanas. It's like 80,000 miles. So this is not in the earthly planet. This is in the heavenly planet. So there were parks full of jewels, there were minerals. They were decorated with nice trees and creepers and shrubs. So as you can see in this diagram, there were waterfalls, and there was sound coming from those waterfalls. We know that's very soothing, and the little droplets flying out from the waterfalls, when it comes and hits your face, you feel a nice cooling effect. Um, so they're always washed by waves of milk that produce emeralds in all eight directions. So on the ground, there are all these beautiful jewels, and sometimes you can hear the sound of a lion coming. And then there are sounds of bees and birds chirping. So such a nice, beautiful atmosphere around which this king of elephants, his name was Gajendra, he was the ruler of elephants. So he was having a wonderful life with his wives and kids, and he didn't care for anything. He was and here on these beautiful lakes, the demigods also used to come to just cool off and then have a vacation because of the beauty of this place. So there was a garden known as Ritumat. So this Ritumat garden had a beautiful lake where these elephants, including Gajendra, were coming to enjoy this nice place. So Gajendra was walking very fast, and he didn't care for the trees or shrubs, as you can see, as he had a lot of power, he had a great career, he has a lot of wealth. So as he was going, he didn't care for anything. He would just pick up a tree and throw it, kick the shrubs. He was just about enjoying by himself. The surroundings and his family, spending time with them. That was the only thing he had in his mind. And at that time, he came for the vacation to um, this lake. This entered the lake and jumped in, and he was bathing with his female uh, friends and wives and his children, and he was throwing the water, taking it from his trunk and throwing at his other elephants. And though it was, you know, um, very exhausting, he didn't care of it as hard work. He was just entertaining his family. And at that time, suddenly out of nowhere, a crocodile came and attacked his leg and held on to his leg so hard that none of his family members could pull him out of that grasp of the crocodile. They all tried to pull him out but couldn't. And this is what happens because crocodile lives in the water and it is more powerful in the water, but the elephant lives on land, but in the water it didn't. Gajendra, though it was a great king, Gajendra could not set himself free because the crocodile is more powerful in the water. And Gajendra was trying to pull himself out for 1,000 years. The lifespans are higher in those planets. So the elephant and the crocodile, they were both very adamant that they want to find out who would win. So sometimes the elephant would pull, then the crocodile would pull, and this fighting went on for 1,000 years. And Gajendra's power was slowly diminishing because um, he was not getting help from anyone, and he lives in the land, but the crocodile was getting all kind of foodstuffs that is in the water, and it was not losing its power. So nobody could help Gajendra, uh, and so he gave up all hope. But then he realized that only God is the savior for a person in distress. So he finally started praying to the Lord. And he, in his previous life, was a great devotee, Indrayumna, King Indrayumna. So we'll discuss that, how Indrayumna got cursed and he became Gajendra. But he remembered the prayers. So he says some wonderful prayers to the Supreme Lord. About 20, he said 28 prayers, like the Lord is the cause of all causes. The Lord is the supreme energy. He mentioned about he is the most energetic. Everything is his. Everything else that we see around us is energy. He is not controlled by Maya or the material modes and he's transcendental to that. So he's giving these wonderful prayers that he's difficult to understand. Um, and then the qualification to understand the Lord is being a devotee. And so he then describes the place, process, and forms of the different personality of Godhead, uh, his external appearance, and then what is his internal appearance, and when does he come to this world. All these wonderful prayers he was saying. And Lord is the supreme father, he's the supreme director, he's the supreme cause, he's the supreme revealer of knowledge, he's supremely merciful. All these, when he started to say all this, and then slowly he started to ask, oh Lord, if you are coming to save me, please save me, and don't let me live in this world anymore. I'm fed up of this. I just want to be in your world. So he said such nice prayers. Um, and he's asking everybody who asks for shelter. Some people ask for, oh, I want a big house, I want a big car. Those are called Sakama Bhaktas. They are living in the mode of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. But then there are Nishkama Bhaktas who only want to serve the Lord and takes anything the Lord gives as a great benediction. Both pain and enjoyment, material enjoyment doesn't affect them. So Gajendra, due to his pain, he became very self-realized, and with his prayers, he was purifying himself. But the demigods, they were thinking, oh, this guy is praying to the Supreme Lord. Why should we go? And we know a Supreme Lord is very difficult to, impress. And the Lord is not going to come and help this guy. He's going to die at the mouth of this crocodile. But actually, the Lord is Bhaktavatsala. He came when his devotee was calling so helplessly, and the Lord comes, and then he shoots his disc on the crocodile. And the crocodile's head got cut off, but the crocodile actually was a Gandharva in the previous life. His name was Huhu, and this Huhu was the first one who got liberated, and the Gandharva Huhu was able to go back to his kingdom of Gandharva Loka. He was liberated by the Lord. And Huhu was cursed by Rishi Devala in the Gandharva planets, and that is why Huhu had taken this form, and now he's able to go back to Gandharva Loka. But then you'll say, oh, he got liberated first, but then he's only going still to the material world called Gandharva Loka. But Gajendra, he wanted to go back home and be in the pastimes of the Lord. So the Lord makes him go back to the spiritual world, or Vaikunta, where you can see here Gajendra gets a form similar to the Lord, and that's called Sarupya Mukti. So he got Sarupya Mukti, and he goes back home to Godhead. also. So Gajendra in his previous life was Indrayumna Maharaj. And Indrayumna Maharaj, how did he become Gajendra? This is because he was a Vaishnava king of the Pandya kingdom, South Indian kingdom of Pandya, and he was Indrayumna Maharaj, and he was living in the Dravida province, and he was a great devotee of the Lord. And at that time is when Agastya Muni came there, and when Agastya Muni came, Indrayamna Maharaj was still focusing on his meditation and did not receive Agastya Muni. So Agastya Muni cursed um, this Indrayamna Maharaj to become a dumb elephant who doesn't have much intelligence. So he has a big body and a lot of power, but intelligence is not great for an animal, right? But then, the curse of great souls is actually a blessing because, Indrayamna Maharaj with just one life as Gajendra is able to go home back to Godhead because the Lord came and saved him and took him back. So everything is a blessing. And Indrayamna Maharaj, when he got cursed to become an elephant, he was happy that this is just his own karma coming to him, and he accepted everything. As we have seen with many other devotees also, that we discuss about Chitraketu Maharaj, how when he was cursed by Parvati, he took that curse and became Vritrasura, but then he went back home, back to Godhead. So similarly, Gajendra was accepting that curse, and he became an elephant, and now he's able to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is a great story. There's a lot of falashruti in the morning. If you remember the story of the Lord, all your bad dreams will go away, and you can become a great devotee of the Lord, it said. So that's where we'll end today's class and go to the Kahoot. Are there any questions about Gajendra or Lord Hari who came to save him? Lord Hari came on Garuda to save Gajendra. This is the four-handed form of the Lord. So if there are no questions, let's start the Kahoot for today. And the game pin is, looks like Hemantji has joined us just in the nick of time to play with us. Because while you play also, you learn because there are questions and answers. The game pin is 7792409. And if you want to scan this QR code, you can do that if you don't want to enter the pin. Okay, Krishna devotee, Meenakshi ji, Nitin ji, unknown. Does anybody need more time?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sir, I'm unknown, sir.
Okay. So,
Prabhuji, please wait a minute.
yes, sure. All right, Santoshi has also joined us. Probably he knows all these stories. And yeah, even if you missed some of the class, please join by all means. Looks like Tarun joined, so can we start? Okay. I don't hear any objection, so we are going to start. Okay. Who was the son of Akuti who protected Swambhu Manu from being devoured by Rakshasas during his retired penance? Kapila, Yajna, or Uttanapad Prahad? Yajna. Very good. Okay. Second question. How many manvantras are there in one day of Brahma? 1, 4, 16, 14. So remember the diagram? So how many manvantras were there? We are currently in the middle manvantara. So how many manvantras would be there in the day of Brahma? Yes, it's 14 manvantras. And each manvantara has 71 Chatur Yugas or Divya Yugas. Okay. Unknown is in first place and Santoshi is also in first place. Same score. That's interesting. Then Tarunji, Nitinji, and Meenakshi. Okay. Third question. What manvantara are we on now? 7, 5, 1, 14. So if there are 14 manvantras, where are we on now? Is it the 1/4, middle, or 3/4 completed already in the day of Brahma?
Abuji, unknown.
Yes. Very good. All right. So unknown is still in first place, and Santoshji is in second. Tarun ji, Meenakshi ji, and Nitin ji. All right. Which manvantara was the pastime involving Gajendra? Out of the 14, if we are in the 7th now, when did this happen? Was it first, second, third, or fourth? Yes, it is the fourth manvantara is when this Gajendra pastime happened. Okay, Santoshi is now on fire and in first place. Okay, fifth one. Besides which mountain in heavenly planet was the king of elephant Gajendra living? Sumeru, Trikuta, Loka, or Himalaya? So we spoke about a mountain that had three peaks, Iron Peak, Golden Peak, and the Silver Peak. And what is that mountain called? Yes, Trikuta. Tri means three, right? So Trikuta mountain. All right. Sixth question. Which garden's lake did Gajendra get attacked by crocodile? Was it Ritumat? Was it Vrindavan? Was it Lal Bagh? So this garden whose lake Gajendra went into is called Ritumat. Okay. How many years did Gajendra fight the crocodile? 1, 10, 100, 1000. Yes, 1000 years. Okay. Realizing Krishna is Gajendra's only shelter, how many prayers did he recite? 10, 20, 28, 50. Yes, 28. Most of you got that right. Excellent job. Okay, ninth question. When Lord Hari came to rescue Gajendra, what did Gajendra offer the Lord though he was in lot of pain? A fruit, a lotus, a leaf, a rock. Yes, a lotus is the right answer. Though he was in all pain, he picked up a lotus with his trunk and gave it to the Lord. So we shouldn't, when we go to the temple or go to see the Lord, we should not go empty-handed. We should take something for the Lord, like Gajendra gave him a lotus. Okay, 10th question. What did Lord Hari do to free Gajendra from the crocodile? Beheaded the crocodile with Sudarshana Chakra, punched the crocodile on its eyes, picked crocodile up by his tail and threw a thunderbolt at the crocodile's tummy. So what did the Lord do to free Gajendra? Yes, all of you got that right. Excellent job. He used his disc to cut off the head of the crocodile. Hoo-hoo. Okay, who was Gajendra in previous life? King Indra, King Indra Yumna, King Prithu, King Rishabha. Yes, King Indra Yumna. All of you got that right. Excellent job. And Santoshi is in 5 figures, 10,000 points. Very good. Who was the crocodile in previous life? Kuvera, King Indrayumna, Manigriva, Gandharva, Huhu. Oh, who was crocodile? Who? Crocodile in the previous slide. Yes, Huhu, the crocodile. Okay. Next question. Last question for today. Who cursed Gajendra and crocodile in previous lives? Krishna, Narada, Agastya, Devala, Angira, Durvasa, Purasya, Bhrigu. So two sages at different times curse them. Yes, it's Agastya and Devala Rishi. Agastya cursed Indrayumna Maharaj and Devala cursed Huhu. So let's see who's on the podium. Third place goes to Unknown Nitinji. Second place goes to Tarunji. And first place goes to Santoshji. And everybody who played are winners. Krishna devotee, Meenakshi ji, Radha Chaitra ji, all of you are here to learn. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarupascha kripasindhute evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Have a nice Krishna conscious week. Talk to you all next. Hare Krishna.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.